Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances, always Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. I have no qualification to speak on the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Whatever I could speak is just the mercy of Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada and other acharyas, other speakers who spoke before. And I seek blessings of all the Vaishnavas, dear Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada and our deity Sri Srinivai Gaudachand, so I can speak something which is beneficial to everyone and bring some change in that. Let's recite prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakam Shri Guru Vaispansya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nastaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtakim. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome all. We are reading from Canto 3, Chapter 13, titled Appearance of Lord Varaha, text 27 to 29. So that let's recite the verses. Utkriptavala kachara kathora sata sata vidhunvan kararoma sattvak kurahata ra itadamsha iksha jyotir bhavase bhagavan mahidraha. Synonyms: Utkriptavalaha, slashing with the tail. Kachara, in the sky. Katoraha, very hard. Sata, hairs on the shoulder. Vidhunvan, quivering. Khara, sharp. Romashattvak, skin full of hairs. Kurahata, struck by the hooves. Abraha, the clouds. Sitadamstraha, white tusks. Iksha, glance. Jyotihi, luminous. Bhavase, began to emit an effulgence. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Mahidaraha, the support of the world. Translation and purport by the Divine Grace. Before entering the water to rescue the earth, Lord Boar flew in the sky, slashing his tail, his hard face quivering. His very glance was luminous, and he scattered the clouds in the sky with his hoofs and his glittering white tusks. When, uh, when the Lord is offered prayers by his devotees, his transcendental activities are described. Here are some of the transcendental features of the Lord Boar. As the residents of the upper three planetary systems offered their prayers to the Lord, it's understood that his body expanded throughout the sky, beginning from the topmost planet, Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. It's stated in the Brahma Samhita that his eyes are the sun and the moon. Therefore, his very glance over the sky was illuminating as the sun or the moon. The Lord is described herein as Mahidaraha, which means either a big mountain or the sustainer of the earth. In other words, the Lord's body was as big and hard as the Himalayan mountains. Otherwise, how was it possible that he kept the entire earth on the support of his white tusks? The poet Jayadeva, a great devotee of the Lord, has sung of the incident in his prayers for the incarnations. Vasati dasana shikare dharani tava lagna shasini kalanka kaleva nimagna Keshava-dhrita Shukara Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. All glories to the Lord Keshava, Krishna, who appeared as the boar. The earth was held between his tusks, which appeared like the scars on the moon. Khanena Prithya Padvim Vijigran Krodhapadesha Swayam Advarangaha Karaladamsho Pyakarala Drigyam Udvikshya Vitran Grinato Vishatram. Grinena, by smelling, Prithvya, of the earth, Padavim, situation, Vijigran, searching after the earth, Krodhapadesha, assuming the body of hog, Swayam, personally, Advara, transcendental, Angaha, body, Karala, fearful, Tramshaha, teeth, tusks, Api, in spite of, Akarala, not fearful, Drigbhyam, by his glance, Udviksha, glancing over, Vipran, all the Brahmana devotees, Grinataha, who were engaged in prayers, Avishat, entered, come, the water. Translation: he was personally the Supreme Lord Vishnu and was therefore transcendental. Yet, because he had the body of a hog, he searched after the earth by smell. His tusks were fearful, and he glanced over the devotee Brahmanas engaged in offering prayers. Thus he entered the water. Purport: we should always remember that although the body of a hog is material, the hog form of the Lord was not materially contaminated. It's not possible for an earthly hog to assume a gigantic form spreading throughout the sky. Beginning from the Satyaloka, his body was always transcendental in all circumstances. Therefore, the assumption of the form of a boar is only his pastime. His body is all Vedas are transcendental. But since he had assumed the form of a boar, he began to search out search out the earth by smelling, just like a hog. The Lord can perfectly play the part of any living entity. The gigantic feature of the boar was certainly very fearful for all non-devotees, but to the pure devotees of the Lord, he was not at all fearful. On the contrary, he was so pleasingly glancing upon his devotees that all of them felt transcendental happiness. 29. Savajrakutanga nipatavega vishirna kukshi stanayan udanvan utrista drigormi bhujay ivartas chukrosha yagneshwara pahi meti sa that Vajrakutanga, body like great mountain, Nipatavega, the force of diving, Vishirna, bifurcating, Kukshihi, the middle portion, Stanayan, resounding like, Udanvan, the ocean, Utsrista, creating, Dirga, high, Urmi, waves, Bhujai, by the arms, Ivavrataha, like the distressed person, Chukrosha, prayed loudly, Yagneshwara, O Master of all sacrifices, Pahi, please protect, Ma, unto me, Iti, thus. Translation. Diving into the water like a giant mountain, Lord Bo divided the middle of the ocean, and two high waves appeared as the arms of the ocean, which cried loudly as if praying to the Lord, O Lord of all sacrifices, please do not cut me in two. Kindly give me protection. Purport. Even the great ocean was perturbed by the falling of the mountain-like body of the transcendental boar, and it appeared to be frightened as if death were imminent. Okay. So just to summarize what's happening in this chapter, bring into the context. In the last chapter, ended with appearance of Swayambhu Manu and Shatrupa from the body of Brahma while meditating on how to increase the population of the universe, because the sages, though were creating, it wasn't enough population. Brahma thought it wasn't enough population. So then he was meditating on, so then Swayambhu Manu and Shatrupa were born. And in this chapter, where Vidra is inquiring from Maitreya Rishi, what did Swayambhu Manu did after getting his wife? Then also the Vidra was asking to explain or more. He wanted to hear more about saintly King Swayambhu Manu, because the goal of hearing is to hear from the spiritual master about the great devotees, uh, great devotees like Swayambhu Manu. So, by pleased again, Maitreya Muni started answering Viduра's questions in the following manner: the conversation which is happening between Brahma and Swayambhu Manu. So, Swayambhu Manu asked Brahma, how can I serve you? After hearing these words, please, Brahma, pleased by hearing the words from Swayambhu Manu, how can I serve you? How can we serve you? Brahma replied saying that you have the quality of an ideal son, and then he gave the instructions in the following verses. So he said, like, first beget progeny, rule the earth, and worship the Lord. So these are the three instructions he gave. And also he said, like, protect people and also please the Lord. If we are not protecting the people and not pleasing the Lord, all the efforts, whatever we are doing, are all useless labor. That's what he said. And then next Manu replies that he agrees and he abide by it. And then he requests Brahma to retrieve earth so he can rule and then increase the progeny. The text 16 to 13 were the pastimes of Lord Varaha, where he appears. Like while Brahma was contemplating on how to retrieve earth from the ocean, from Brahma's nostril, a small form of boar, a size of the upper portion of a thumb, appeared, and it expanded very gigantic form, assume grow like anything, and then Lord roared, the Lord Varaha roared. By hearing the sound of the roaring sound of the Lord Varaha, like all three worlds were heard the sound of the Lord Varaha, and they realized it's roaring of the Lord. Uh, the, then the all sages started praying, praying to Lord. So with that, Lord Varaha understood the prayers for his glorification, and he entered the waters for searching of the earth. So these were like on these three verses, the Lord is entering into the water in search of the earth. So I didn't have much to speak from these three verses. Like my thought process for these verses, what to take from these verses is first one is like in the 28th text 28 in the purport Prabhupada mentions, though the Lord's body looks like of a hog, still his body is transcendental. So I was contemplating generally on my things, what would be takeaway, and it is like generally my nature is to judge people by their actions, and with those judging, so it creates impressions in me, and in like based on those impressions, like then decide like who they are, what their behavior, or like how they act, and all those things. It might be like simple things, but so but it's not a good idea for me to judge anyone based on their actions, and always hear from Gurma's lecture to respect everyone and never judge anyone by their actions. And also the same thing is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter, 18th verse, Vidya Vinaya Sampanna, that a learned man would see a Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater with the same vision or equal vision. So that's the first thing. So I pray that Lord Varaha somehow gives me that vision so I can respect everyone and not to underestimate anyone's capabilities or judge people by their actions. The next one is the gigantic form of the Lord was fearful to non-devotees, but it was pleasing to the devotees. So In the in that context, I was just remembering during the Lord Narasimha's pastime, where after Lord Narasimha, the Hiranyakashipu, all the devatas who were present there at that time were offering prayers to pacify the Lord, but Lord was not uh, pacified at all. But then they were wondering what's to be done. But then finally they request Prahlad Maharaj to approach Lord and pacify him. So though Prahlad Maharaj was only 5 years old, like he was being a devotee of the Lord and has full conviction in the Lord's appearance, the protection by Lord. And also he was not fearful at all, and he approached the Lord to pacify him. So these are the two takeaways from me. And besides, like I learned something new while preparing for this. Uh, it seems like Lord, actually, it's there in the Chaitanya Bhagavata, Madhyakanda, third chapter. Uh, it was like where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also exhibited or revealed the form of Lord Varaha to Murari Gupta, and also same thing as mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed himself as Lord Varaha to Murari Gupta, and after that pastime uh, in Chaitanya Charitam, and Lord started explaining the famous verse like Hare Nama Kevalam Kalau Nastayo Gatranya. So these are the things which I learned, which I was not aware of it, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu uh, revealing Lord Varaha form to Murari Gupta. So yeah, so with that I conclude, and please forgive me if I spoke anything, misspoke with my limited knowledge, or please share your thoughts. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yeah, even though you're not well, so you took up the service. Thank you so much. Thank you for reading that previous verse also.
Actually, I have to thank you for yes, bro. So if we don't have any discussion points, so we can conclude. संसकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Wish you all happy Nityan Trayodashi, and see you all in the evening. Thank you. Hare Krishna.